Hi, this is Michael here, the real Mike G with ASMB. This is going to be the first lesson that we're doing with ChatGPT, this beautiful application right here, which is an AI, for those of you that don't know. And basically, we'll be studying the basics of chat prompt engineering with AI and covering some of the core aspects of it and maybe doing some advanced stuff later on as we delve deeper into the course. To give you guys a bit of a context and background on what we're doing here, I'm going to be doing a 1-year course covering everything AI related with ChatGPT and other AIs. And their responsibility will be to tutor me and give me all the information I need to basically become an expert in the space and upskill myself moving forward. So having said all that, ChatGPT, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Thanks, Michael. All right, everyone, welcome to the first lesson of AISMB's AI course. I'm excited to be your guide today as we dive into the basics of prompt engineering. So let's get started. First up, let's set the context. AISMB's mission is to help marketers and businesses leverage AI effectively, and one of the key skills in that realm is prompt engineering. Think of it as the art of communicating with AI to get the best possible output. Now, I want to ask you all, when you think of AI prompts, what comes to mind? Commands? Questions? Something else? Feel free to chime in. All right, moving on to our core principles of prompt engineering. There are 4 main principles that really make a difference: clarity, context, constraints, and iteration. Let's break each one down and then we'll do a mini exercise together. First, clarity. The more specific you are, the better the output. No big language. Second, context. Give the AI a bit of background so it knows exactly what you need. Third, constraints. Set boundaries like format, length, and tone. Fourth, iteration. Refining your prompt is part of the game. Let's do a quick exercise. I'm going to give you a vague prompt. Write about marketing. How will we refine that to make it clear and useful? Let me know your thoughts. And from there, we'll dive into the different structures and frameworks of prompts.
Okay, so I've just written right about marketing in the ChatGPT on my phone, and it's basically said, sure thing. Here's a clear, engaging overview of marketing, and it's giving me basically a very concise explanation of what marketing is, the core elements of marketing, and modern marketing approaches and why marketing matters. And then it asks me, in short, marketing is not just selling; it's about delivering value, telling stories, and creating connections that last. Would you like me to expand this into a general educational article? And yeah, so where would we go from there in this particular exercise?
That's a great result. So this shows how AI can give a solid overview from a vague prompt, but it's still a bit general. So the next step in our exercise is to refine that prompt to get even more specific results. Let's add a bit of clarity and context. For example, we could specify the audience, the format, and the goal. So let's try adding a bit more detail. Say, write a 150-word LinkedIn post about the importance of marketing for small business owners in New Zealand. That way the AI knows exactly who he's talking to, what the format is, and how long the content should be. Go ahead and tweak that prompt on your side, and I'll see how the output changes.
Okay, so I'm writing write a 150 word LinkedIn
Awesome.
post for small business owners in New Zealand in the let's say digital marketing industry. And basically, let's see what it comes up with. I'm just going to put that in there. And it basically says, here's a polished LinkedIn tailored for small business owners in New Zealand, digital marketing agency, 150 words. And then it gives me basically a really perfect post. And it's want me to also draft a shorter version under 100 words. That's a punchy for quick scrolling LinkedIn readers. So I've also noticed that ChatGPT does this. At the end of every answer that it gives for a solution, it offers ways of how you can expand on that particular whatever you're working on. And my thing, the best practice to do is not only respond to what it's saying, just say yes or no, or yeah, yes please, but then also build upon that. So kind of add extra. So here you might say something like, "That sounds great. Let's also that sounds great. Let's also add in some context for specifically businesses that do LinkedIn marketing, right? Would that be a pretty good approach? What do you think?
Absolutely, that's a fantastic approach. Adding that extra context really helps tailor the AI's output even more, making it more relevant and valuable. It also shows how refining your prompts can lead to more precise and actionable results. So you're definitely on the right track. If you want to explore any other angles or have more tweaks, just let me know.
Fantastic. Let's move on to the next topic. What's the next topic on the line?
All right, the next topic on our list is exploring different prompt structures and frameworks. We'll dive into a few key types like role-based prompts, reasoning prompts, format-driven prompts, and persona-driven prompts. Each of these has its own strengths and use cases, so we'll break them down, and then I'll ask you which one you'd like to try out first. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Awesome. Let's dive in. So the first type is role-based prompts, where you essentially assign a role to the AI, like saying you are a marketing strategist, and that helps guide the AI's perspective. The second type is reasoning prompts, which are great for when you want the AI to think through a process step by step. The third type is format-driven prompts, where you specify the format you want, like a table or a list. And finally, persona-driven prompts, where you set a specific tone or style for the AI to match. So which of these frameworks do you think would be the most useful for you right now? Let me know. We'll try it out.
I was just typing in basically your marketing strategies, give a solid marketing strategy for ASMB to gain more followers on their LinkedIn page. And basically what I'm doing is giving it a role and saying specifically what I want. What was the other ones that you said there, please? I was really sorry, I kind of zoned out there for a second. I was just typing this prompt.
No worries at all. You're doing great. The other types we mentioned are reasoning prompts, which get the AI to think through a process step by step, and format-driven prompts, where you specify the kind of output you want, like a list or a table. And the last one is persona-driven prompts, where you define a specific tone or style for the AI to match. So let me know which of those you like to try next.
Okay, so I'm going to present the format prompt at the end of that initial prompt that I made, where I asked for a solid marketing strategy with ASMB to gain followers. I'm also going to add format this in a document that I can present to my team, format this like a PDF branded with AISMB. Is that good? Can I refine that a bit more? What do you think?
That sounds really good. You're definitely adding a great level of detail. If you want to refine it a bit more, you could specify the branding elements, like the color scheme, the logo placement, or even the structure of the document, like sections and headers. But overall, it's a solid prompt. Once you add that detail, the AI will give you a really polished, ready to present strategy. Great job.
So what I've done is I've actually just uploaded an image of the logo. Would that be better instead of typing it all out, or I'll just add? I've added the logo for you to use. In this document. Okay.
That's a great.
And what were the other contexts you're talking about? What were the other so the other types of prompts to choose? So role-based prompts, formatting, and please remind me what the other ones.
No problem. The other types we mentioned are reasoning prompts, where you ask the AI to think through a process step by step, and persona-driven prompts, where you define a specific tone, style, and voice for the AI to follow. Each of these frameworks has its own unique advantages, so it's great that you're exploring them. And if you want to try any of those out, just let me know.
Okay, so I've also added in this prompt, make this a step-by-step process and keep it professional, but light at the same time.
That's perfect. Adding that instruction for a step-by-step process and a professional yet light tone is going to really fine-tune the output and make it super useful for your team. Sounds like you got a great handle on this.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just added that prompt. Let's see what it comes up with. Give me one moment as it's just thinking for a second, thinking longer for a better answer. So that kind of tells me that it's an extra good prompt if it starts thinking a bit longer. Would that be fair to say? If it starts kind of processing the information a little bit more and thinking a bit more, whereas if it just spits out answers straight away, would it be like a less better prompt if it's not thinking as much?
Yeah, that could definitely be an indicator when the AI takes a bit longer. Usually means it's processing more details and considering the instructions carefully, which often leads to a higher quality response. On the flip side, if it spits something out immediately, it might be a bit more generic. So it's a nice little sign that the prompt is working well and giving AI something to chew on.
Okay, so it thought for 32 seconds and it's still working. So this could also be a case where maybe I gave it too much information, but at the same time, when it does ultimately spit out the information or offer me the information, I would imagine it's going to be, it's just building the PDF right now. Okay, there you go. It's giving me done. I created a branded PDF with a step-by-step LinkedIn growth strategy for SMB and saved it as so this is actually unbelievable. It's actually just created a step-by-step growth strategy for ASMB and saved it as a PDF document. It's added some notes. I included a clear logo placeholder. The PDF contains executive summary, target audience, core strategy pillars, a week-by-week, step-by-step implementation plan, tools and KPIs, a sample 4-week content calendar, post templates, team next steps, and a clear CTA, all formatted for presenting to your team. And then if we just click on here, hopefully it will just come up with the PDF. 1 moment, please. And then we'll just see if we can download it. And then we just go to the files. And then we downloads. And let's see what it comes up with. And boom. So I created a placeholder for the logo. And look at this. It's basically a full-on document outlining a detailed plan for our marketing strategy, which I can then review and fine-tune and then distribute amongst my team.
That is absolutely fantastic. It's amazing how much value that little extra detail in the prompt can bring. Now you've got it ready to present strategy document that's super professional and actionable. I love it. If you need any more tweaks or want to explore the prompt types, just let me know. Otherwise, this is a fantastic win.
Fantastic. Let's move on to the next section of this topic, or the next topic, whatever works for you.
Absolutely. Let's keep the momentum going. The next topic we can dive into is the reasoning-based prompts. This is where we get the AI to think through a process or a problem step by step, which is super useful for analysis, strategic planning, and more detailed tasks. So we can try that out next and see how it works.
Yeah, we kind of already did that. Do you think it's better when you're delivering these prompts to break it down to bite-sized pieces for the AI instead of bulking it all into one prompt where you're using reasoning and role and all the other prompts that we just mentioned in one prompt, or is it better to just break it down and spit out some information and then add it as you go? What do you think?
That's a great question. It really depends on the complexity of what you're asking. For more straightforward tasks, a single well-structured prompt that combines everything can work really well. But for more complex or nuanced tasks, breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces can be more effective. It allows AI to focus on one aspect at a time and can lead to more accurate and refined results. So it's often a matter of balance and the specific task in hand. Great to experiment and see which method gives you the best results.
Very good. Fantastic. Let's move on to the next topic, please.
Awesome. The next topic we can explore is persona-driven prompts. This is where we define a specific tone, style, or voice for the AI to adapt, make an output more consistent with a particular brand or personality. This is super useful for maintaining a cohesive voice across all communication. So we can dive into that next and see how it works in practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I could do here is I could say something like, please give me a summary of what ASMB does, but make the tone, extremely chilled, tailored for the New Zealand hip-hop community.
That's a fantastic example. By specifying that tone and audience, you're giving the AI clear direction on how to shape the message. This way, the summary will resonate well with that particular community and have the right vibe. It's a great way to keep your messaging consistent and authentic. If you want to test that out or tweak it further, just let me know.
Just slight technical difficulties here. Not a big deal. We're just going to copy that. Yeah, for some reason, one moment, please. Select all, and then yeah, for some reason it's not letting me enter the prompt. Not sure why. Pretty weird.
No worries, technical hiccups happen to all of us. If it's being a bit finicky, sometimes a quick refresh or just repasting the prompt can do the trick. And if you need any help with tweaking the prompt or anything else, just let me know.
Oh, I know what it is. It's because I've had my free plan for GPT-5. This is a really good time to promote. Obviously, getting the Get Plus section for GPT-5. And it's probably because I put in a very complicated prompt, and they were like, "You should really be paying us for this, right?"
That could definitely be a factor. Sometimes the free tier does have a few limitations on more complex or lengthy prompts. But hey, it's a great incentive to try out the paid plan if you find it useful. In the meantime, we can always simplify things a bit or just take it step by step. Whatever works best for you.
I love this. I love that you just keep asking what works for me. You know, that's something that doesn't really happen traditionally in tertiary-based learning, where by no fault of their own, because you're dealing with a whole class of students, and you can't tailor everything perfectly for each individual student. Whereas this is like a personal tutoring, lecturing experience. I'm getting both the lecturing experience, where I'm dealing with someone that has extensive knowledge, and also getting that one-on-one take on what works for me specifically.
I'm really glad you feel that way. That's definitely the goal, to make it as personalized and tailored to your needs as possible. It's like having a one-on-one tutor who can adjust on the fly and make sure everything clicks for you. So anytime you have questions or need something adjusted, just let me know. It's always a pleasure to help.
Cool. Let's move on to the next topic, please.
Absolutely. The next topic we can explore is the idea of iteration and refinement of prompts. This is where we learn how to tweak and improve prompts based on the outputs we get, making sure that each iteration gets closer to the ideal result. It's a really key part of mastering prompt engineering, so we can dive into that next.
Sounds good. So when you're talking about iteration, you're talking about taking your prompts and fine-tuning them as you go. So you start at a baseline, and based on the responses that the AI gives you, you keep on building upon it to get the best possible response for the solution, the best solution for the problem that you're facing, or whatever you're trying to achieve by talking to the AI, right?
Exactly, you got it perfectly. It's all about starting with a solid baseline and then refining it step by step based on the AI's responses. You might adjust the clarity, add more context, tweak the constraints, and then test again. Over time, this process helps you get more precise and valuable outputs, and it's a key skill and get the most out of AI tools. So we can definitely practice that and see how it works in action.
Okay, so for example, I might start with a prompt like, write me a marketing email, right? And let's see what it comes up with. So that's a pretty broad base prompt. Let's just chuck it in and see what it comes up with.
Absolutely. That's a great starting point. It's a nice broad prompt that lets the AI give you a general idea. And then from there, we can refine it to be more specific, add details like the target audience, the tone, and the goal of the email. So go ahead and hit that prompt, and we'll see what it comes back with.
Cool. So it basically gave me a response of absolutely. I just need a bit more context to make it highly effective. So it basically does say it needs more information on target audience, main goal, tone, and company. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go target, and I'm going to hyphen small to medium businesses in Auckland who work in the banking industry, as an example. And then for the next thing, which is the main goal, promote ASMB courses to bank executives. Okay, and then we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. The next one is gonna be tone hyphen highly professional and informative with solid facts and resources stated and noted. And then the last one was, I believe, company products. So we've said company focus on main banks in the area specified. Okay, and then we're gonna go boom. Was there anything else? And then we'll just chuck that in there. Do you think that's a good prompt? The way that it's structured there, is there anything I could have done differently, added, taken away? What do you think?
That prompt is looking great. You've added a lot of useful context, which will definitely help the AI generate a more targeted and effective email. I love that you specified the audience, the goal, the tone, and the company focus. If you wanted to refine it even more, you could add details like the specific value proposition or call to action. But overall, it's very well rounded. Once you run it, you'll likely get a much more tailored response that fits your needs. Great job.
Yeah, it's basically giving me a fantastic email here. I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but it's basically giving me executive focused courses that we're doing. It's giving us why they should choose ASMB for their courses, and it's also provided resources and references from where it's getting its information. And some of the information is getting is from the bank's own case studies that it's put out. So it's like pretty useful.
That's fantastic to hear. Sounds like the prompt really hit the mark and gave you a highly relevant and polished email. Having those case studies and solid references definitely adds credibility. If you ever want to tweak it further or explore other types of prompts, I'm here for it, but it sounds like you're definitely on the right track.
Cool. Let's explore some other types of prompts, please.
Absolutely. We've covered a few types, but there's still some interesting ones to explore. One of them is role-based prompts, where you assign the AI a specific role, like a marketing expert or a data analyst to guide its perspective. Another type is format-driven prompts, where you specify the exact format of the output, like asking for a table, a list, or a summary. We can also look at comparison prompts, where you ask the AI to compare different options or ideas. Each type has its own unique use case, so just let me know which one you'd like to dive into next.
Okay, let's do a comparison prompt. So we'll do please compare the let's say effectiveness of LinkedIn marketing platform to Google's platform when marketing ASMB as a service and or brand. What do you think about that prompt? Is there anything I can add or take away? What do you think?
That's a solid prompt. It's clear and specific, and it sets up a nice comparison between two platforms with a particular focus on your brand. If you want to refine it even more, you could add a couple details like the specific metrics you want compared, e.g. cost per acquisition, engagement rates, or the target audience specifics. But overall, it's a great prompt as it stands. Once you run it, you should get a very insightful comparison.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the prompt. I'm gonna please compare cost per acquisition on average based on information available on publicly public-facing resources, and also what else? Anything else I can add?
That's a great addition. You could also add a bit about the time frame and what the comparison for, like whether you're looking at recent data or historical averages. Another useful detail might be the specific industry benchmarks, if you have any, or any particular regions, if that's relevant. But even as it is, it's already quite thorough. I'm excited to see what kind of comparison it comes up with.
So it's thinking for a moment, it's searching. Certainly, here's a comprehensive comparison of LinkedIn and Google Ads platforms, focusing on their effectiveness and cost per acquisition, CPA, for prompting ASMB courses to banking executives in Auckland. Oh my god, look at this. It's basically giving me LinkedIn is a premier B2B platform, ideal for targeting professionals based on job titles, industry, and company size. It's particularly effective for promoting educational services like SMB courses. Banking executive goes on to give me key metrics, including average cost per click, average cost per 1,000 impressions, and so on. It's got some pros in here. It's got some cons, and then explains a Google Ads overview, pros, cons, and gives me recommendations for ASMB. So let's see what it recommends. For promoting ASMB courses to banking executives in Auckland, LinkedIn Ads is recommended due to its precise targeting capabilities, allowing you to reach decision makers directly. While the cost per lead may be higher, the quality of leads and relevance to your audience can justify the investment. And then it goes on to give me a suggested strategy. It goes on to give me a very good strategy, and then asks this basically says, feel free to ask if you need any more information about that. But that's like, to think about like the value of this, to produce something like this, even as far back as, let's say, 10 years ago, you would have to, well, let's think about that. I mean, what kind of resources would you have to employ to create something like this in, let's say, 2010?
Absolutely. It's pretty mind-blowing how efficient and powerful AI has become. Something like this would have required extensive market research, data analysis, and a whole team of specialists could compile all that information a decade ago. Now you can get that kind of detail tailored insight in just moments, which is a game changer for businesses. It really does take a ton of time and resources, and the accuracy is impressive. If you ever need to dive deeper or explore their angles, always here to help out.
Absolutely. So we're 28 minutes into the session right now. What other topics do we need to cover in the course outline that we discussed before this particular lesson? Is there anything more that we need to talk about? Any more topics? What do you think?
We've covered quite a bit already, and it's been really productive. The main topics we had on the outline were the core principles of prompt engineering, different prompt structures like role-based reasoning, format-driven, and persona-driven prompts, and the iteration process to refine prompts. I think the only thing left to cover might be some common pitfalls and best practices to avoid them, and then I'll wrap up with some takeaways and a bit of homework. But overall, I think we're in a great spot. Let me know if you want to dive into any of those areas, or if you feel like we covered everything you need for now.
Yeah, let's do the main pitfalls. This is probably where I'm going to get the most value from, because I think that I do have quite a few pitfalls in my prompt engineering game. What are some things I should steer away from, and what are some things that can help me really refine my conversations with yourself and other AIs?
Absolutely, avoiding those common pitfalls can really boost the quality of your prompts. Here are a few key ones to watch out for. One, being too vague. If a prompt is too broad, the AI might give you a generic answer. Always try to add specific details like target audience, the desired format, and the goal. Overloading with information, while context is great, giving too many details at once can overwhelm the AI and make the response less focused. It's often better to break complex prompts into smaller parts. Lack of context, the AI doesn't know the background or the purpose. It might not provide the most relevant answer. Always include the why behind your request. Four, expecting perfection on the first try. Prompt engineering is iterative. It's normal to refine your prompts based on initial outputs, so don't be discouraged. the first result isn't perfect. 5, ignoring the AI's feedback. Sometimes the AI will ask for clarification or give you a hint on what it needs. Pay attention to those cues and adjust accordingly. 6, not specifying the desired format. If you want a specific format, like a bullet list or a summary, make sure to mention it. Helps the AI structure the response better. But keeping these in mind, definitely get more precise and useful results. And of course, I want to help you refine further.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Cool. So I think we'll probably just end it there for this particular lesson. So that was a half-hour lesson that we did with GPT. I'm going to be doing these lessons more and more as we progress into the next stages of the next thing. On the next episode, I should say, the next lesson or the next piece of content we're going to make, we're going to be focusing on content creation basics with using AI, and that's going to cover things like creating posts, creating images, creating short clips, logos, whatever it might be. And basically, I'm going to cover all that stuff on the next lesson. I look forward to doing that with GPT. So if you guys are interested in getting involved in this project, feel free to reach out to me via my LinkedIn page or via YouTube. You can also email me. All the information will be in the description below. Look forward to diving more deeper into this moving forward. Thank you so much, GPT. We'll leave it there, and thank you, you guys, for watching. Peace out, and remember, stay strong, gratitude, growth, greatness through communication. Have a nice day.